Well, Clyde, I think I'm going to make this through without crying. So. It doesn't mean anything bad. I thought I'd say something here. When I first dated Becky, I found out her dad was a police officer, and I thought this is going to end terribly. But what was nice is after getting to know you, it's been quite a pleasure. I mean, you're a great guy. You're a very genuine person, and I should say, happy birthday. You're a good person to be here to celebrate. So, happy birthday, Clyde. You've been a great person. So, thanks.
I'm Louise. Whoa, I got a booming voice. I'm Clyde's wife, and Clyde, you've just been such a blessing to me. I probably will cry. When I was going to marry Clyde, he took me and he said, if he ever lays one finger on you, you come and tell me. He's never laid a hand on me, but I'm glad I got that. But, you've been such a wonderful father-in-law and just a wonderful person, but more than anything, you've been a great friend. And I love you so much. Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's a mistake giving the pastor a microphone. I'm going to try to keep little guy asleep here. I'm Clyde's grandson-in-law, as I like to refer to myself, Sarah's husband. And when I wanted to marry Sarah, I not only had to ask Marcy, but I had to ask Clyde too. And so I call, knowing he was a police officer, which made me nervous out of my mind. I call and ask to talk to him, and I ask him if it's okay if I can marry his granddaughter. He proceeds with a very long pause on the phone. To me, it seemed like eternity before he finally, in his joking way, said yeah. And that's where mine and Grandpa's relationship began. But from the pastoral standpoint, I have never in my life encountered anybody so quick to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with anybody.
That's right.
This morning we had a young man that was visiting, and as I was preaching, I could tell that my sermon was hitting him right in the heart. And when I asked everybody to bow their heads and close their eyes, Grandpa got up, and he stood in the back. And I knew he could tell what I was sensing. As soon as service was over, right to that young man he went. And I am so grateful that he isn't afraid to share Christ with anybody. I can remember moving up here, where's Grandpa? More than likely, he was telling somebody about Jesus. So that is a legacy that I will never forget. And I pray that I can have the boldness that he does to tell people about Jesus. It is such a huge, huge example. So, happy birthday, Grandpa.
Hello. I got some sound. I've known Clyde since about 1999. We worked together down at the federal courthouse in St. Paul, where a lot of retired police officers obtained employment. But when I first started, Clyde was the first one that came up to me when he had already been working there for a year or so, came up to me, welcomed me, showed me where all the coffee shops were. That was important. Where to get a sandwich. That was important. And I always knew that Clyde would have 2 or 3 sandwiches with him. So if I left my lunch at home, I'd always go up to Clyde, real nice to him, and I'd say, Clyde, if you got anything extra to eat, he always would give me something, a sandwich, or a piece of cake, or a piece of pie. But we became very good friends, and I just want to say happy birthday to you, Clyde. You're a good man, and I hope you have many more birthdays.
Yeah, amen.
I happen to be one of his neighbors. And I think there's a few others here, but we've all lived in the neighborhood about 50 years, so it's been a while. You know, the family's made him out to be a saint. Clyde talked a little bit about their building projects. Well, I know that Troji hates them. He'd have lumber out on the boulevard 6 feet high and all the scraps. And I used to say to Joanne, how does he get away with this? He's always got that pile of stuff out there. But besides the point, he's a great neighbor and he is a great individual, wonderful person. And he keeps his yard and his home as immaculate as the kids talk about his lifestyle. I used to think his house is going to cave in. He paints it every year. I didn't think the structure could hold it. That's how neat he is. We've lived next year for years, and it's been a pleasure. Happy 80th.
Anybody else?
Come on. Clyde, I just had such a... If it wasn't for Clyde's soup, I wouldn't be a Christian today. It's a guarantee. And me come so far, and that was really deep. I came over to Clyde's Sue's how many times, Laura?
A lot.
Clyde was like a dad to me also. I wouldn't know where to begin. I'm listening to these stories. I can barely keep it together. I just love you so much. That's all. Thanks.
Anybody else?
I have to say something to Clyde. I love you. Good neighbor. Very special in our life. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
If there's nobody else, the kids have